Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in my last video, I was talking about the Wizard Liz cheating Landon situation, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very reactive in that video. There were several parts of the video where I was crashing out, just actively talking about all the thoughts that I had in my head. And I'm sure that so many of us were in the same boat, because if you've been watching Wizard Liz since she started, you know that she's helped so many of us stand on business in so many situations. And she has definitely been the creator that I have always gone to anytime I'm feeling super low about anything in life. And she seems to have a video for literally any situation that I've gone through. So it was just shocking to see that there were certain things that she couldn't see very clearly. And now there's more and more information coming out about Landon and how he has played multiple girls in the past. And it just baffles my mind as to how Liz didn't really review his background history, like how she didn't do a full-on background check about him. But anyways, today's video is going to be about my updated thoughts on the entire situation. I've definitely gained some clarity over the past few days about everything, and I'm not as shocked. I'm not as reactive now about the situation. Yeah, so let's get into it. So first off, I want to start off by saying that as devastating as it is that Liz is pregnant with his child, I think it is also a very beautiful thing that has happened, because she did stand on business and she did walk away from him. And that is something that she's always preached. She's like, no matter what, if a guy does me wrong, if anyone does me wrong, I'm going to walk away from that situation. And she fully stood on business with that. So that is something that is very refreshing to see. Honestly, when she decided to walk away, I wasn't surprised. I knew that that was something that she would do, but I didn't realize how many people actually do stay in situations with their partners when children are involved. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but I'm also someone that does not tolerate any sort of disrespect, and I am someone that will walk away from situations that no longer serve me. But I am aware that when emotions are involved, when finances are involved, when kids are involved, it can be much harder to leave. And I have not been in any situation that has been that drastic and that deep where kids and finances have been involved, thank God. So I guess it's easier said than done, but I'm really glad that she's choosing to walk away from him. Also, she has mentioned multiple times in her videos that she would like to have a family one day. She would like to have kids. She would like to be a mother. And that is happening for her, even though she will be a single mom. It is still something that she seems to be very happy about. And she actually posted a picture of her baby in her stomach a few days ago, which I thought was very cute. And she's going to be a great mother. And also, come to think of it, there are so many single moms that are killing it out there. There are so many single moms that are still in marriages or are in some sort of partnership where the man doesn't show up as much anyway. So, you know, you're more or less a single mom regardless of your marital status or partnership status, in my opinion. Moving on to the next part, how she didn't see the signs. Now, I've been thinking more about this, and with someone who is so seen in the media, she has about, what, 8 million subscribers on each platform, which is a lot of people. And I feel like it is easier to spiritually bypass when you are preaching to so many people, and when you feel like you are one of the chosen ones, when you are divinely anointed. And so the way that you start looking at things is that everything is happening in alignment and in divine timing. And when someone studies you so hard and can pick up on that lingo and knows how to make you feel super magical, and that, you know, this person's God sent for you, that's when things can get very dangerous and very tricky. This was something that I was not aware of that guys did. In the previous video, I had spoken about how I did come across a guy that was presenting himself to be very spiritual and woke. Obviously, he didn't do anything to the extent of which Landon had done to Liz. It wasn't as drastic, but that was my first experience of a guy pretending to be very spiritual. And the reason why I was so shocked when that happened to me was because I've always encountered guys or witnessed guys being like, oh my God, it's so gay to journal, it's so gay to talk about spirituality, like what guy thinks that much? I've always heard that kind of discourse, especially coming from brown men. I'm not gonna lie, I should say brown boys, not men, because they're not, but what, okay, whatever. But yeah, I never really came across a guy that was just so open about spirituality and journaling and manifesting and everything. So when he spoke like that, I was just like, oh wow, okay, there is some growth happening in certain guys who choose to grow, right? And this person had gone through a lot of adversities in the past. I'm talking mentally, physically, everything. So I was like, okay, wow, he's really choosing to grow from that. But I'm now realizing that, unfortunately, and this is the case with most men, if they've gone through severe trauma in the past, chances of them evolving from that are very slim compared to women. Women tend to go more inwards. We also have female friendships where we are able to openly discuss a lot of our traumas. We are able to identify certain patterns. Guys don't have that as much, and a lot of guys don't seek therapy. And even the ones that do, to be honest, it just seems that it's become a trend almost. When a guy goes to therapy, it's easier for them to talk themselves up and intellectualize their feelings instead of actually processing and doing the inner work. Hot take, I don't know. I don't even think it's a hot take. I feel like therapy has been misused by so many people, and it's a way for them to feel important and for them to spiritually bypass many things and to intellectualize their feelings. I have definitely done it where I think I'm being so self-aware, but it's like, if I'm not even putting in the inner work to change things, if I'm not standing on business, I feel like I say standing on business so much, but it really, that term really sticks with me because that's essentially what it is. When you are talking about how you don't like how things are going in your life, but then you keep getting into situations where you're not changing your decision-making skills, when you're not improving on your decision-making skills, then that's you essentially being aware of what's happening, but you're not taking action. And a lot of guys fall into this. It essentially becomes an ego thing and also an attention-seeking thing when these guys do act like they're woke and they know exactly what they're doing as well. And that just seems to be how Landon is overall. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I believe that this girl, his ex, Abby or Abigail, I'll link it somewhere. I'll put it somewhere here, her username on TikTok. But she has a 3-part video series about Landon and how they dated and how he cheated on her. He's laid his hands on her. Oh my god, like, I'm not even going to talk too much about the story, but he fully stalked her abroad. Like, when he was out abroad and she was also out abroad, he fully stalked her in multiple locations. He bombarded her with emails. He would send her all these extravagant gifts. He would straight up tell her where he went wrong, what he did wrong, what needs to improve. He fully convinced her that she had BPD. Like, this stuff is not a joke, and I guess I've never been in such terrible situations with guys. I mean, I have for sure, but not to that extent. So that kind of psychological torture is just, it's so alarming to me, and it's so crazy how so many young girls can fall into that. And definitely do go check out her 3-part series, but it's just alarming to me that someone like that was able to fully pull Liz and marry her and baby chop her. And here's what I'm thinking now. If Landon had even been 5% of the way he was with Abby towards Liz, then Liz would have left a long time ago. I don't think she would have tolerated someone controlling her like crazy, calling her names, physically abusing her. She's been through enough abuse where she knows what that looks like. I'm hoping, maybe not fully, honestly, we don't know the behind the scenes, but I personally think that if he had really acted up the way he did with Abby, then Liz would have left him a long time back. So what's more concerning to me is that he really kept up this act for so long. And guys know how to move differently with different girls. When Abby and Liz had dated, she was a lot younger. I believe she was 21 or 22. And he was just so hyped up by so many people around her that she was just like, okay, yeah, he must be a great guy. And it became this very messy thing. But with Liz, she literally preaches about seeing the red flags in people. She preaches about how if anyone feels shady or off, it's usually their energy speaking, and that you have to do what you can to protect your energy. She's all about all of this, right? So had he showed his true colors a little bit earlier on, I mean, she would have been out a while back. I fully believe that. Obviously, we don't know the behind the scenes. She has not come out with any sort of video just yet, or I don't even know if she's going to speak on this, but yeah, we don't fully know, but obviously he was definitely more covert with her compared to Abby or other girls that he's been with in the past. But I'm just shocked that she didn't do a full-on background check with him. I don't know if she was like, oh, he's just evolved so much and energetically we are aligned right now, so it makes no sense for me to do all of this digging. She also has talked about in the past how she's not a big social media person and that social media is not good for people. Consuming it so much is not good, right? But she only uses it because of her business, obviously, because of her channel, because of what she does for work. She has to use social media. So I'm wondering if she truly is the type of person to just stay in her own lane, post her videos, post her TikToks, and dip. It really is giving that. She doesn't really even follow many people on socials. So maybe she didn't do the research because she didn't think that it was worth her time. And she 100% thought that she was also an exception to the rule because she definitely is the full package. Like, there's no denying that, right? And she has helped so many people. There's a reason why she has so many followers and subscribers. And that can get to your head. That 1000% can get to your head, even if you're trying to do a lot of good work. I'm not saying she's a narcissist by any means, but naturally it probably got to her head and she was like, now whatever I attract, after all this healing I've done, will be the right person for me. And I mean, I'd do the same thing, bro. Like, I would be in the same exact boat as her. And that's actually how I started thinking when I did attract that guy that I was talking about in my previous video. I was like, I've done enough healing to spot the red flags. I'm more self-aware. I don't entertain people like that randomly. I'm very selective with my energy. So then when I had met him, I was like, oh wow, okay, the universe is aligning us together perfectly. And I caught feelings very fast. I hadn't felt like that about anyone in so long. And that's a scary part about these guys, is that all of your logic, you throw it out because you're like, oh, it's so divinely timed. God sent me the right person. So she probably wasn't thinking that getting engaged to him so fast, getting married to him so fast, having his baby so fast wasn't problematic because this was aligned. It's fucked up to say this, but I think that all of this is really part of her purpose in waking us up, because the way that I have just woken up to so many things about men over the past few days, I mean, shit, maybe Shira 7 was onto something. I'm not gonna lie, I have definitely, like, I do believe in a lot of what Shira 7 says, but when she's just like, oh yeah, well, men cheat, there's no love, blah blah blah, I'd always stray away from that. I'd be like, no, that's a little much, like that's a little too far-fetched. Now, I don't know what I believe in at this point, whether love is real, whether all men cheat. Like, I am starting to really believe what Shira 7 is saying more, but again, not everything is black and white. I definitely am at that phase of my life right now though where I'm not entertaining men. The thought of being entangled with someone makes me want to throw up. I'm not even exaggerating that. But what I will say is that my discernment is only going to go up from here. And same with a lot of women that deeply felt what Liz went through. And I think a lot of us are going to be turning to Shira 7 for advice, because it just seems like even if you stand on business from the jump, that these guys will still find a way to lure you, put up this facade, trap you somehow, reveal their true colors a year or two down the line, or years later, months earlier, whatever the case is, and you will still be left feeling bamboozled. You'll be like, where did I fucking go wrong? So that's that, but I don't think it's also like an end all be all thing. I just think that collectively we're all waking up to the fucked up shit that men do and how there's no blueprint, right? It's not, again, I mentioned this in the last video, it's not about finding a nerdy guy that feels safe. It's not about finding a guy who you think matches your aesthetic and vibe and also mindset beliefs. It's not about, I mean, I don't even know what to say. But one thing I will say is that always focus on yourself, get your bag up, never depend on a man for anything. And if he does provide for you, shower you with love, make sure that you have your own at all times. And don't make him feel that without him, you have nothing, right? Without him, you can't survive, you can't function. And I'm sure there are guys out there who are actually doing the inner work, and that will show. They will not need to boast about it. They will not need to be like, oh yeah, I'm the alpha male, like I know so much, blah blah blah. They won't feel the need to do all of that. So I really do believe that guys benefit from doing the inner work just as much as girls do. That will only help them with their business choices, their friendships, the people that they overall attract, the partner they want. If they want to raise a family, that will help them there. Because at the end of the day, these guys who put up fake fronts play girls left and right. Imagine their psyche, just imagine their brain, how it functions. Obviously, yes, they're causing a lot of pain to the girls that they end up with, or the girls that they trap or whatever, right? It's a lot to heal from. But we'll never know how they think. We will never understand why they do what they do, because we're not that fucked up, bro. We're not that fucked up, simply put. And they are. So imagine how much pain and hurt that they have. It's disgusting. It's alarming. But at the end of the day, they're suffering so much, and they'll never be able to get out of it because they don't choose to get help in the right way. So it's not doing them any good, and it's going to destroy them in the long run if it hasn't already. So I hope also guys are seeing this and waking up to the fact that they need to really do the inner work. But that's not our business. We just gotta stay in our lane, focus on ourselves, and go from there. But yeah, I mean, discernment is huge. I keep talking about that. That's all I've been thinking about. If you feel off in any sort of way, if you're like, this is just not matching up to what I want out of a partner, leave. It doesn't have to be this big thing. Oh my god, I have to leave them only if they cheat, only if I find out that they're doing X, Y, and Z. Like, no. You just feel a little bit disrespected. You feel like their personality is just not matching up to the personality that you want to be around. It's fine, leave. I don't think we have to put so much weight on finding a life partner and being with that person for the rest of our lives. Like, there's just so much pressure. There's so much focus on that in society. And I've fully broken out of that. I come from a South Asian household, and marriage, family, all of that has always been ingrained in my brain. I remember growing up and I was like, oh wow, like I want to get married at 22. I want to have kids at 25. I always thought about having this big, amazing Indian wedding, and a part of me still does want to have that, but it's not my focus anymore. I'm now 27, and I mean, my parents always ask me, family friends ask me, are you looking? Do you want to get married? When are you getting married? Blah, blah, blah. I don't care anymore. And this mindset shift only happened a few months ago. But there's just so much more to life than finding a partner. There's so much more to life than having a family. And we are conditioned as society to believe that as we get older, that our purpose lies in finding a partner and having a family. Mainly for women, right? Men get away with more shit. But I don't want to be a part of this dysfunctional society. I don't want to subscribe to any of it. If I am single for the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. If I don't have a big ass wedding, if I don't get married, I'm chill with that. Maybe I'll have kids, but it'll be on my own accord. It won't be to fulfill any sort of dream that was shoved down my throat by society, or by, by cultural standards. And yeah, I think more and more of us are waking up to our power. We're waking up to the fact that we indeed are human beings who have our own goals, passions, desires, and that we will do what is best for us. And this is the first time in society that this is happening, in all of history really, where women are given so many opportunities, where we are able to make a name for ourselves, where we don't need to rely on a man. And it is a beautiful thing. It is a very beautiful thing. I'm just happy that Liz has her own bag. She has everything going for her. She's able to leave, but the sad reality is that so many people aren't able to. So many women are not able to just get up and leave. We saw what happened with freaking, oh my god, why can't I remember her name? Ace Family, Catherine Pies, is that it? How it took her years to leave. And I watched a few of her clips from the Call Her Daddy podcast. And oh my god, the way she was saying things, the way she went about things reminded me so much of how I am. I've always been the chill girlfriend. I've always been like, you know, I have no reason to look at your phone. I trust you. If you want to have fun with the boys, go for it. If you want to do X, Y, and Z, go for it. I'll be doing my own thing. I can take care of myself. I've always been that kind of person, but unfortunately I have attracted guys who have definitely, I don't know if they full on cheated on me, but they've definitely micro cheated. They have been horrific to me in many ways, and I let so many things slide because I was so chill. But I wasn't chill because I was trying to be a pick-me cool person. I think just by nature I'm a very chill person, and she reminded me so much of that. But I'm so glad that more and more women are coming out with their stories, because we all need to be more hip, okay, to what's really going on in a lot of guys' minds and how they think they can get away with so many things. But that will not be the case moving forward, as we were collectively awakening to what's really going on in their minds and how much power we really hold, and how society has brainwashed to believe that we are not of that much value unless we are serving others, men and families, right? Anyways, that is all I really have to say for now. Those are just my updated thoughts. Oh wait, this was something that I did want to touch on, and I'm not sure if this is going to get me any sort of negative comments. I don't care. I don't think this is a hot take, but when you come on here online and post your thoughts, it is actually not that hard to yap. It is not that hard to come on here with conviction about what you believe in. And you're only yapping to the camera maybe once a week for 20-30 minutes. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? We need to stop idolizing people on social media, because they're only showing us one part of their lives. And this also goes for Liz. She comes on here, she posts once a month maybe? Comes on with so much conviction about X, Y, and Z. And obviously she's able to talk with this much conviction because of her previous experiences, because she's been so severely abused, because she had to wake up to her own power and cultivate her dream life, right? Obviously what she's saying is valid, but we don't know how much she's actually applying that behind the scenes. And a lot of the times, as she's talking to the camera, she's probably realizing things herself that she needs to implement for herself, right? Those videos help her just as much as they help everyone else. And I can say the same thing for myself. I don't have that many videos on YouTube just yet, but I've actually gone back and watched my old videos when I haven't been feeling okay. And I'll be like, damn, I'm right. Why am I not applying that right now? Right? So it's not to say people that come on here and preach about mindset or whatever they're talking about, that's not to say that they're not valid. Chances are, if they are able to discuss these topics properly and bring so much clarity and awareness on many topics, there's a reason for that, right? They're speaking from experience. They're speaking from implementing many things in their lives. But she is still young. She's actually a year younger than me, and I'm still very young. So it takes time to heal. I think she only got out of her family situation a few years ago, where she was able to escape her dad's abuse. I don't know. I don't exactly know when. I can't remember the timelines that she's said. But even after that, she was still struggling to make ends meet. She was busting her ass, working at smaller jobs to make ends meet, and then YouTube picked up. I don't think her first video was until end of 2021, beginning of 2022. I don't think she took off until 2022, and it is now 2025. So, and in that span, she has been in 2 relationships. Just saying, right? I mean, especially when you are in a relationship and you're still trying to heal, those relationships will also bring you some trauma. If these people are not right for you, they will add on to your trauma. They will also bring out parts of you that you're still trying to heal and correct, but when it's in your face, it's harder to deal with as opposed to dealing with it privately, just on your own. Oh my god, you can hear so much outside. I'm so sorry. I live in New York City now, so get used to all of these annoying noises in my videos. Anyways, those are just my 2 cents on everything. No shade to her. She's so strong, and I really hope she gets through this tough time. She will. It's unfortunate, but I'm just glad that it is serving as a wake-up call for all of us. So yeah, my next video will definitely be on something else other than the Wizard Liz, but I'm kind of glad that this entire situation actually forced me out of my little tunnel that I was in, little bubble that I was in. I just got so caught up with my move that I fully paused on YouTube and just creating content in general, and this whole situation stirred up so many emotions in me that I was like, I just have to get on here and talk about it. But yeah, enough of this conversation on this channel. These are just my updated thoughts. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are on everything. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on the whole situation and what you have learned from it, or if you guys have faced anything like this in your lives. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time. Love you guys so much. Bye.